Hey everybody, Ronan here again. Hope you're well. I've got the blinds down here today in the office. It's actually quite hot in Sydney. So I want to talk about strategy and structure because they are basically essential to any successful business, any successful team. And I think it's good to bring things back to a pretty simple, but not simplistic, rather a simple level that can be understood, so you can have a kind of a clear filter for how to look at your business or look at your leadership team, even your thoughts and how you're behaving in alignment with what you say you want. So strategy and structure, think of it like everything. First of all, everything in business can fall into either strategy or structure, literally everything. So think of it like a glass of water, okay? So a glass is the structure. Let's call the water, which is the content within the glass, the strategy. And then a glass of water together is going to deliver a drink, right? So just keep it simple, right? So a glass of water is to quench, you drink a glass of water to quench thirst. So the purpose is quench my thirst and I get a glass of water. So your business has a purpose, okay, for your marketplace, and it's to deliver some sort of purpose, to solve some sort of problem, let's say, or to improve something. So if you have a structure, a glass with no water, no strategy, well, you kind of have a pointless structure. You could argue it's got potential, but it's not going to do much. If you have water with no glass, you've got a mess on the table. There's no boundaries, so it's just a mess. So strategy without structure isn't going to work, and structure without strategy has no purpose. But strategy and structure together can deliver any mission, vision, goal if it's done right. So by strategy, what I mean is, and I think strategy is the place to start. You don't start with what structure do we have. You start with what strategy. What's the strategy? Okay, so the strategy gets decided based on, just like in the first video, based on what do we want, why do we want it, what are the obstacles to achieving it, and then what is the transformation that links, that takes those obstacles to a new level, and then what actions do we need to take to mitigate all the obstacles and make the transformations happen. So the strategy is what actions do you take to make your desired objectives reality, okay? But then the structure is the vehicle that's going to deliver it, okay? So, you know, if you're gonna deliver a mattress and a fridge and a cooker, you're not going to do it in a small hatchback. You're probably going to do it in a van of some sort. So you need a bigger structure to deliver that. Same thing with a business. You look at the strategy. You look at your reason for being and your strategy for bringing that to the marketplace, and then you go, okay, what structure do we need to actually deliver that? So structure in nature, for example, it's been shown that fish and plants, they grow in size in proportion to their structure, their environment, the structure of their environment. So fish in small ponds, they grow to a smaller size than fish in a big lake. The same species of fish, they grow to 2, 3, 4 times the size in a lake than they will in a pond, because they're restricted by the structure, the size of the pond being smaller than the size of a lake. Likewise, if you put a tree in a little pot, it'll grow to a smaller size than will a tree if you put it just in a field. And this is everywhere in nature. So a business is the same thing. So you've got to have a structure that is capable of delivering on the strategy that you want. That's the obvious stuff, okay? But actually there's something even more interesting, which is strategy and structure applies to your mind. So the mindset, you've got a strategy, which is your mental strategy and your mental patterns, and your structure, which is the belief system of your mind. So the belief system is kind of like scaffold on a building. You decide where you're going to build a building, and you put the scaffold up as you build a building. Your beliefs are like that. So you want to make sure that your beliefs are the types of beliefs that are capable of being stacked in a way that creates alignment, so you can build what it is that you say you want to build. Mental patterns are strategies. I was talking about resistance yesterday and maybe 3 days ago. You want to have patterns of behavior that are very congruent with what you say you want. So we have mental strategies for getting what we want, and we have mental structures. So when you have a business strategy aligned with a mental strategy for getting it, and there's congruence there, and you have a business structure aligned with a mental structure, your belief system aligned with the structure of the company, that is a formidable approach to business and to leadership. And of course, leadership's all about strategy and structure as well. So if you can bring those things together, you're going to be very effective in your business. And I recommend just at least having a look at that in your own business. And then what you've got when you get that strategy and structure together, you've got flow. So a well-structured operation will deliver a strategy beautifully, great execution. And the starting place with a structure is you look at the strategy and how it gets delivered, and then you look at what's the flow of that through the business, and build your structure so that the flow happens. There's a bit more to it, but that's a starting point. And if you filter everything through strategy and structure, is the strategy a good one? Does the structure support it? Are they aligned externally? And then internally in my mind, are my strategies, my mental strategies, aligned with the strategy of the business, and are my mental structures aligned with the structures of the business? So remember that the entire business comes from your mind anyway. It gets thought up in your mind, and then it enters the physical world, let's say. And then, so if you've got mental structures that don't believe or permit whatever it is that you want to create to happen, then it's going to be more difficult. So look inside first, then look outside, but definitely look at strategy and structure. Hope this helps, and talk soon.